Why, after the killing of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khomeini, Iran did not abandon its resistance like Iraq, Syria, and Venezuela. Instead, it aroused a nationwide desire for revenge. Let us explore the history of this nation on the Iranian plateau with this question in mind, and we will gain some understanding. Around 2000 BC, a far-reaching ethnic migration is underway in the steppes of Central Asia. The Indo-European Aryans spread out in 3 directions. One of them settled in the Iranian plateau, calling themselves Aryans. This land was named Aryana, which is the origin of the word Iran today. These eastward Aryans were the founders of Persian civilization. Before the Aryans arrived, the Iranian plateau was not a cultural desert. Around 4000 BC, the Elamite civilization had risen in the southwest. Its capital, Susa, lasted for nearly 2,000 years, until it was destroyed by the Assyrian Empire in 650 BC. After the Aryans arrived, they integrated with the local indigenous people and gradually formed the Medes and Persians. In the 7th century BC, the Medes were the first to establish a state, becoming the overlord of the plateau, while the Persians were subject to the Medes. 559 BC, Cyrus II ascended the Persian throne. He united the various ministries to overthrow the kingdom of Medes in 550 BC and established the Achaemenid dynasty, known as the Ancient Persian Empire. Cyrus' expansion was amazing. In 546 BC, he conquered Lydia. In 539 BC, he entered Babylon without a fight, and then forced the Indus Valley to submit. He established the first huge empire in human history to span Asia, Africa, and Europe. Cyrus' conquest was different. He freed the Jews imprisoned by Babylon and allowed them to return to Jerusalem. He issued the Cyrus Cylinder, which declared freedom of religion and slavery, hailed by future generations as the first declaration of human rights in human history. It was Darius I who truly integrated the empire. He expanded the territory to its peak, to the Indus River in the east, west to the Balkans, to the Caucasus Mountains, and south to Egypt. More importantly, he established a far-reaching governance system. There were over 20 provinces in the country. Governors and military commanders were independent. There were also royal spies to supervise. He built a 2,400 kilometers long road and more than 100 stations. Orders could be delivered in 7 days. Unified currency and measurement system. Standardized the tax system. Zoroastrianism was made the state religion and practiced religious tolerance. He built a magnificent capital in Persepolis. 23 envoys of nations pay tribute to the King of Kings on the relief in the audience hall. This is the eternal freeze frame of the empire's golden age. However, this seemingly impregnable empire had already planted the seeds of decline within. The Persian Empire was essentially a patchwork of nations. Egyptians never submitted. The Greek city-states of Asia Minor have always been dedicated to their mother state. The economic development of each region was unbalanced, and different cultural customs. Without a solid foundation of economic integration, political integration was like building a tower on sand. Court struggles intensified. The Persian Empire never solved the issue of succession. 338 BC to 333 BC, the empire changed 5 monarchs. The central authority was swept away. The long exhaustion of the Hippo War also severely damaged the strength of the empire. After the battles of Marathon, Thermopylae, Salamis, etc., Egypt and Cyprus rise up. The empire was in a desperate situation. What was more fatal was the disappearance of militarism. The early Persian nobles were proud of riding and shooting. But after the Persian Wars, the trend of luxury and pleasure spread. They had to hire Greeks to fight for them. A nation known for its warmongering has finally lost confidence in its own combat effectiveness. 334 BC, when Darius III was on the throne, King Alexander of Macedonia marched eastward. The Persian Empire was already in turmoil. Egypt had broken away from its rule. Babylon was ready to move. Local governors had different intentions. The battles of Granicus and Issus were defeated one after another. Darius' mother, wife, and daughter were all captured. 331 BC, the Battle of Gaugamela. Although the Persian army had a numerical advantage, but their orders were inconsistent. Low morale. They were completely defeated. Darius III fled eastward in a hurry and was eventually killed by his subordinates. Alexander set fire to Persepolis. It symbolizes the official withdrawal of this 200-year-old empire from the stage of history. To explore the reasons for its demise, as commentators have said, the Persian Empire remained a patchwork of ethnicities, religions, cultures, languages, and customs. The structural contradiction between the conqueror and the conquered cannot be eliminated. The nation that once welcomed the Persians as liberators now regarded them as strangers. The political life of the Persian Empire ended in 330 BC, but Persian civilization did not disappear. After Alexander's death, Persia entered the Hellenistic era of the Seleucid dynasty, but the native cultural genes persisted. In 247 BC, the Parthian Empire rose, which started the Persian cultural revival. In 224 AD, the Sassanid dynasty was founded. Zoroastrianism was established as the state religion, calling itself the Kingdom of Iranians. Known as the Second Persian Empire, it was conquered by Arabs until 651 AD. Persia transformed again in the Islamization wave. Language, literature, and religion were its three pillars, integrating its cultural essence into a new civilization. Looking back at the rise and fall of the Persian Empire, we can see that the strength of an empire depends not only on military prowess, but also on governance wisdom and national integration. And its decline often starts with internal corruption. Cyrus' tolerance and Darius' institutional innovation made them the founders of a world empire, but failed to heal ethnic rifts and failed to solve the inheritance crisis, laid the groundwork for its downfall. Today, when we stand in front of the ruins of Persepolis, the remaining stone pillars and reliefs still tell the glory of more than 2,000 years ago. As an archaeologist said, Persia has died countless times, but never truly disappeared.